Now let's see what the folks at Microsoft have done.
The Start button provides a consolidation of Program Manager, for example, to allow me to easily launch programs by simply selecting the program.
So you launch things out of Start now.
Exactly. The Start button is always visible on the screen even when I maximize programs.
All right, so this is WordPad. This is the right notepad combination that now comes with Windows?
Correct. It's a replacement. It's a new Windows 95.
Okay.
I can also start documents by selecting documents from my document menu on the Start button.
So you launched a document, it automatically launched the application the document needed to come up.
Exactly.
So this is Paint program now?
This is Paint, and what I can do is I can easily move between documents through the Windows taskbar, which by simply clicking on the button of the window, which is open here on the bottom.
Okay, so the bottom thing, the taskbar, gives you a button for every alive application currently running in Windows.
Exactly. So to be able to move information from one document to another, I simply select the information that I want to move, select Copy from my Edit menu, go to the other application, and simply click on Paste.
So you did a cut and paste between two different programs running at the same time.
Exactly, very easy.
Okay, what is My Computer? That's that icon up in the left there.
My Computer gets me access to resources on my computer like printers or information. So for example, I can see files on my computer, or here I have documents that are in a folder on my computer. What you see are icons representing the documents, and you also see long file names. So I can easily, by simply clicking on the document I want, type in a long file name to replace the cryptic 8.3 name.
So they're really hot alive areas. You can actually go in there and type inside them.
Correct, up to 255 characters.
All right, what else can you
name.
do with My Computer?
What I can also do is, for example, access to my printers. I can take information and put it on the desktop if I want by simply clicking and dragging and dropping it on the desktop.
So that now gives you a place to actually use the printer. I mean, that's a hot button too, basically, the printer icon there?
Exactly. By double-clicking on the shortcut for the printer, I can see the documents that are sitting in my print queue. What I can also do is, let me go ahead and start up the replacement really for File Manager called Windows Explorer, and let me go back to the same folder, and I can also print by simply clicking a document that I want, dragging it, and dropping it on the printer. It's as easy as that.
All right, so this is Windows Explorer, which replaces File Manager.
Correct. What we've done is provided different views for information on the computer, and we also have capabilities for power users, for example, using the right mouse button to access context information like Quick View, which allows me to see the contents of a file without opening the application.
All right, another thing new in Windows 95 is network capability built in. Show me that.
Network Neighborhood gives me access to information on my network, which includes Novell NetWare servers, Windows NT servers, and also the internet. By using the remote access capability in Windows 95, I can also dial up to the internet directly and access any internet provider that I want.
So internet access software built in addition to the rest of the network stuff.
Exactly.
All right, now while we're talking about network, you got Microsoft Exchange, and that's the sort of universal inbox so that all kinds of electronic communications shows up in one common inbox?
Exactly. Microsoft Exchange, and let me go back to the Start button and open up my inbox, allows me to send faxes, send information on the Microsoft Mail server, or actually access mail on the internet. We also use rich text capability to really make impactful messages that I can send to other Windows 95 users or send to other users, for example, on the information highway.
All right, what is autoplay? That's an easy way now to use multimedia?
Multimedia in Windows 95 has never been easier. Through autoplay, all I have to do is take the CD-ROM that has an autoplay enabled application, put it in the CD-ROM, close it, and even a 4-year-old can now use multimedia. And what will happen is the application will automatically start, and all the user has to do is simply click on it.
So Windows automatically detects you've just inserted a CD-ROM and figures, well, I guess he wanted to launch it, so it launches it.
And it'll do that, or it may help the user configure the application.
All right, another thing, there's no DOS now sitting underneath the new Windows 95.
Correct.
What happens to my old DOS applications that I still want to use?
Old DOS applications can still run in Windows 95 just as they do today under MS-DOS, but they also have new capabilities, so I can access them from my Start button and launch directly. You can also use existing MS-DOS-based device drivers as well.
Okay, so this is a game which happens to normally run under DOS, but without going out to DOS, I can just launch this directly.
Exactly.
And can I run a DOS app in a window inside Win95?
I can even run it within a window.
Okay, pretty cool. Windows 95, thanks a lot. All right, now just as sure as night follows day, when Microsoft comes out with a new version of its operating system, Peter Norton is usually right behind with a new upgrade of the Norton Utilities program. Here to show us the new Norton Utilities for Windows 95 is Enrique Salem of Symantec. All right, every time Microsoft comes out with one of these things, you guys jump up real quick and say, we've got some things that isn't inside Windows that every user ought to have. What do you have in the new Norton?
Okay. The utilities are specifically designed and architected for Windows 95. They're full 32-bit programs that take advantage of the multitasking and multi-threading capabilities of Windows 95. Prior to installing Windows 95, there's a couple things that a user should do. These utilities that you'll be seeing are actually the Win32 versions. We also ship the DOS versions with the product.
All right, so you're saying this Norton Utilities is good to run with Windows 95, but you should also run it before you install Windows 95.
Absolutely.
All right, to do what?
Okay, the first thing that a user should do is run NDiags to test their hardware. It does a comprehensive hardware test that checks things like IRQ conflicts and memory errors. The second step that you want to do is run the Norton Disk Doctor to make sure that your hard disk is free from errors. Let's take a quick look here at the Norton Disk Doctor. Some of the options that we've built in are the backgrounding capability. This takes advantage of the multitasking capabilities of Windows 95 and is always running in the background to make sure that your hard drive is always clean. The next step is Space Wizard, a brand new piece of the utilities. What Space Wizard does is over time people tend to accumulate files that they don't need. Things like temporary files and duplicate files. So what you're seeing here is a list of some of the files that Space Wizard has found.
Now how does Space Wizard know these are files I don't need anymore?
What it does is it's looking for specific extensions, and it doesn't actually delete them. What it does is it lists them out for the user so that the user can go ahead and decide what they want to remove either to a floppy drive or to a network drive.
Okay.
And the main thing with this utility is it's very safe. The last step that you want to do is run Speed Disk. Speed Disk makes sure that your hard drive is defragmented and make sure your computer is running at peak performance.
All right, so it gets Windows 95 running at its max, and it gets your computer set up so it'll take care of Windows 95, huh?
Exactly.
Okay, that's the Norton Utilities for Windows 95. Now, there are some of you out there who just get livid with all this talk about Windows. I'm talking about the OS2 fans. It's hard to find a group of users who are more passionate about a product. So let's take a look at the newest version of IBM's OS2 called Warp.